Hi, I wanted to share a message with you for Yom Kippur. I have a story that some of you may have heard, and it's worth listening to again because I have a different message at the end. So many hundreds of years ago, somewhere in Thailand, there was a village that had a magnificent gold statue, magnificent, huge gold statue that was very special and precious to them. And there was fear that there would be a war with a neighboring village. So what they did is the monks of the village, they went and they covered this magnificent golden statue with clay. They covered it up and they left it so that it looked very ordinary, that no one would even pay attention to this clay statue. And they didn't want their golden statue to be stolen. So exactly as they thought, the war actually came and all the monks were killed and many of the people in the village were killed. And it took many, many years for the village to build itself back up again. But they did manage to build back up. And many, many years later, even hundreds of years later, what they decided is they were going to move, or they were doing renovations, and the village got bigger and bigger, and they need to move this clay statue out the way. They didn't even know there was a legacy that this was actually a golden statue. They had forgotten that. So they all started moving together. A whole lot of them started moving very slowly this statue to its new location. And what happened actually is it fell over. And as it fell, a whole piece of clay chipped off on the face of the statue. And they're like, oh, no, it's broken. And then someone saw there was like something glinting from underneath the clay. And they started to carefully remove all this clay off the statue and realized it's pure gold. So the moral of the story is it's not just a sweet little story. It's a story about each one of us. And the time that Adam was created, it says Hashem blew into him the breath of life. And the fact that each of us wake up each morning is with that gift of life. That same breath that Hashem gave to Adam of life, he gives to us, not just when we wake up in the morning, but every second of every day. And deep within us, we too have that piece of Hashem. It's said that we are created in the image of God, which means no matter what has happened and what will still happen and what negative traits or bad behaviors we have done, okay, deep within us, we are still created in that image of God. We all have that in us, that gold, just as was hidden in the middle of that sculpture. So this beautiful idea that I have been thinking about and I've heard a little about and have tweeted to Yom Kippur is that when we arrive at Yom Kippur, we read all these al-Chets. And I even think this year with Corona, we've got a whole lot more al-Chets to be adding, right? But when we come to the al-Chets, and this is an idea from G-dly, is that we don't bash ourselves, I did this and this and this and this, but we say, oh, I did this, I'm sorry. Like it's more like, how could I have done that? Because actually who we are is a piece of God. And being a piece of God is not exactly befitting the behavior that we might have done. So thinking about the statue covered in clay, each time we go up Chet now, it could be to knock off a little bit of that clay, to knock off another little bit of piece of clay, to knock off a different piece of clay, so that we can reveal ourselves as the magnificent beings connected and made with the image of God that we were created in. Because that's how we want to be living in the world. Imagine a world where we all were functioning from this magnificent space of who we were created, if we were reaching our potential and living our lives like that. So what we do every time we do something wrong is we betray that godly self that is within us. So let's knock off all the pieces that don't belong to the majesty that each of us have within us. So I was just looking through some of the al-Chets, and I wanted to share some deeper ideas around them because we say them and we even sing them in beautiful tunes, right? Right? It's not happy songs. What are the ideas that we can connect to behind this? So if we think about the word slander, Where have we maybe been hypocritical? Let's get rid of that. We think about what we've stolen. Could have stolen time from people, stolen from this magnificent earth that we have been given, that we haven't looked after. What about robbing someone of their privacy? These are all things that we do. We abuse the trust that others have given us. Something else we don't want to be doing. Okay? We haven't been immaculate with our truth. We might have been deceitful. We might change things a little bit just so we look a bit better. Where's our ego coming into all of this? And can we get rid of that? Because that's just clear on the outside. If we really knew that we were this magnificent being inside, we wouldn't need to be deceitful about anything. We could be 100% honest and immaculate with our truth. We have ignored our responsibilities, not just to ourselves or to the people around us, but to humanity and to the world around us. We've been obstinate, where we think, and this problem with this generation, it's all about me. Well, actually, it's not all about me, right? We forget that everything we have has been gifted to us by God. How are we going to change that? Failure to admit also that we have been wrong, right? This is just plain stubbornness. And this is another alchet that we want to get rid of. What about the harsh speech and the way that we have conducted ourselves amongst the people who we love and we care about? Where we could have given a kind word and a hug. Instead, we reprimanded and we were harsh. There's also an alchet for contempt for parents and teachers and maybe people who are officials who are higher than us, right? We haven't respected those who could guide us. How do we feel about that, and how do we want to change that kind of behavior? We've had foolish speech as well, which is another one, right? What about worshiping this gift of speech? It's the only thing that separates us from animals. How are we using our speech? Are we gossiping? Are we judging others unfavorably? Are we even using our speech to break our promises? Okay? And right at the end of all these achets, we say, Hashem, before I was formed, I was not worthy. I was unworthy. And now that I have been formed, it's as if I am dust. Well, right now we can make a choice not to live that way. To actually say, I am worthy of life. This gift you have given me, maybe in time and years gone by, I wasn't worthy to be formed. But today, I'm ready to be formed. I'm connected to that godliness within me. That maybe this behavior and other things that we've been caught up and distracted with over the year has not served us or humanity or the people around us or the people we love in the best possible way. And from today, we are going to be doing things differently. So when we arrive in shul or our makeshift shul or at home, and we just arrive on the day and clothe ourselves in that whiteness, right? Whatever it is, a talit or your white garments, whatever you're wearing, just feel the godliness of who we all are and this gift that we have all been given. And it is our choice to connect to that and to make amends and to correct behavior so that in the coming year, we will all step into the year as we already have stepped into the year, but we will step into the year from a cleaner, a purer, a more honest space and a more godly space. Wish us all Gemar Chatima Tova, have an easy and a meaningful fast. And when you get hungry, just use that as well. Our bodies have also betrayed what we've come here for. So that hunger, when those pangs start coming, just use them to just cleanse. Sending lots of love and wishing you all well.